Access control list, part 2. In case you missed the previous video, so you need to watch the access control list, part 1, so you can actually relate with this current video. Okay, so in the last class, I was trying to discuss the access control list considerations, and I said first that all statements tied to the same list number will form a single access control list. And secondly, I talked about listing your access control, list statements in order of importance. Now, the third thing you need to take note of is that when you are building your access control list, at the end of your access control list, you have what is called an implicit denier. An implicit denier at the end of your access control list. So I'm going to use the previous example I cited in the last video also to explain that. Now, I said if you are trying to deny configure F. So you are trying to deny IP 10.10.10.1 access to, let's say, a class server here, and this server address is this 18.10.20. Of course, the server is within this network 18.10.20.0/24. So you are trying to deny IP address 10.10.10.1 from this network access to this server 20.4. You want to permit others, including other clients in network 10.10.20.0 and 18.10.10.0. In other words, you have to permit all clients within 18.10.10.0 access to this server, all clients within network 10.10.20.0 access to this server, and all clients within network 10.10.10.0 except IP address 10.10.10.1. Like I said in the previous video, you list the statement in order of importance. I said you start by saying access list list 10, and I will say deny what? 10.10.10.1. I'm denying this guy. Wildcard mask 0. I will explain the use of wildcard mask much later. Now, I will say access list 10 again. I will now say permits 10.10.10.0. Wildcard mask. The wildcard mask will be 0.0.0.0.255. Now, with these statements now, I have two statements in this access control list. So, if I apply the access control list on this router 1, much later we'll explain why you're choosing this router 1, why not router 2. Okay, so if I apply it on this router 1, now when the traffic from .1 10.10.10.1 comes to this router, the router will ask, are you 10.10.10.1? If yes, you are going to be denied. That will work, right? Now, other clients within this network 10.10.10.0, let's say from .2 to .254, when they come into this router, the router will ask again, are you .10.10.10.1? The answer is no. So the router executes the next statements. Are you within this network 10.10.10.0? The answer is yes. So they will be what? Permitted. So it means this second statement will catch all the other clients within this 10.10.10.0 network, apart from or except the 10.10.10.1, which we are denying here. Now, the thing is this. If you have clients coming from this network and this network, and they are trying to access this same server 18.10.10.20.4, all of them will be denied. Meaning all clients within this network 10.10.20.0 and clients within this 18.10.10.0 network, all of them will be denied. So meaning you are not just denying IP address 10.10.10.1, you are also denying all the clients within this network and all the clients within this network access to this server. Why? Because at the end of your access control list, that is what we call an implicit denier. It's not going to be shown. It's hidden. But you need to take notes when you are building your access control list that at the end of your list, you always have an implicit denier. An implicit denier is like this. You have this 10, and you now have deny any. Again, let me circle this. This will not be shown in your access control list. And that's why I said all the other clients will be denied. Because if I have a particular system from this network, let's say this 10.10.20.5, if this IP address wants to access server 18.10.20.4, when it gets to this router, the router will ask again. Of course, starts running the list from the top to the bottom. So the execution is sequential. So to ask, are you 10.10.10.1? No, because the address is 10.10.20. So .5. The client belongs to network 10.10.20.0 network. So then the router executes the next statement. Are you within this network 10.10.10.0? The answer is no again. Like I said earlier on, this IP address is within 10.10.20.0. So meaning there will not be match for the next statement. Now, there's no match in the first statement, no match in the second statement. Then all the other clients will match for the third statement. Meaning this 10.10.20.5 clients will match this third statement. And this third statement says deny any, because it will not be, are you using any other IP address apart from those specified in the first statement and the second statement? And the answer is yes, because if you are not 10.1, and you don't belong to network 10.10.10.0, it means the third statement, which is any, will catch you, meaning all other IP addresses. And because of that, all the clients within this network and the clients within this 18.10.10.0, all of them will be what? Deny. Why? Because the implicit denier will always catch them. You have your implicit denier at the end of each list that you have. So how do you now negate this? How do you solve this? Because the focus is, I only want to deny .1. I want to permit all other IP addresses. So with the implicit denier, how do I achieve that? What you now need to do is you try to negate the implicit denier. Negating the implicit denier, it means at the end of this second statement, I'm supposed to have the third statement. And that's supposed to be access list. Access list 10, you now say permit what? Any. Because it is after this permit any that you now have the implicit denier, which will be access list 10 deny any. You see that it is after the permit any that you now have what? Deny any. So meaning if client 10.10.20.5 comes into the router again, there will not be match for this first statement because this client is not 10.10.10.1. There will not be match for the second statement because the client doesn't belong to network 10.10.10.0. But there will be a match for the third statement because any other IP address, and by so doing, the IP address for that client or that client will be what? Permitted. So that's how to solve that. So take notes that at the end of your access control list, there's also what? An implicit denier. Then next, let's now take a look at how to apply your access control list. When you are assessing or applying the access control list, for the standard access control list, since we are dealing with standard now, for the standard access control list, the rule is that you apply your standard access control list as close as possible to the destination node. And the reason being that, the filtering condition for the standard access control list is based on just the source IP address. Source IP address. For standard, you only ask, who are you? Then based on that, you deny or you permit. It is only in extended access control list that you ask, who are you? Where are you going to? In fact, you can even ask, what is the service that you want to access on that server? So all these questions are tied to extended access control list. So because of that, for standard access control list, you have to apply it close as possible to the destination node. Now, imagine again, I want to permit access to this device, to this network, this server here, 18.10.20.4. I only want to deny 10.10.10.1. Now, in this case, now, since it is standard access control list, where am I going to apply it on? I'm going to apply it close as possible to the destination, and that's why I'm picking router 1. I will not apply it on router 2 because the destination is router 1, but it is close to the server that you want to permit or deny access to. So imagine if I apply the access control list on router 2, what will happen? If I should apply it on router 2, that is wrong assignment, because once that traffic comes in, let's say from the traffic is coming from this network, from 10.10.20.5 again. Now, if I apply it on this router, let's say I apply it on this interface of this router, once that traffic comes in, the router will ask, who are you? Are you 10.10.10.1? Okay, let me even use this example. Let me use this example. Let's say the packet is coming from here, the 10.10.10.1. Are we there? Now, don't forget, we're only denying 10.1 access to server 18.10.20.4. Now, once that traffic comes into this router, the router will ask, are you 10.10.10.1? And the router says yes. Based on this, you are to be what? Denied. It doesn't even ask the client, where are you going to? So meaning even if that client wants to access 20.0 network here, or it wants to access the 18.10.10.0 network here, it will be denied. Because the router 2 doesn't ask, where are you going to? So for that reason, since the filtering condition is only based on the source IP address, you have to leave router 2 and take that access list down to router 1. That is as close as possible to the destination node. So you are going to be applying it on router 1. And in fact, it will have to be on the interface attached to this network 18.10.20. Again, close as possible to the destination node. So first, it will be on router 1. When you want to apply it, it will not be on this interface. It will not be on this interface. It will be on the interface connected to the destination node, which is this server. It will be on this interface attached to 18.10.20.0 network. Now, for the extended access control list, you apply the extended access control list close as possible to the source. You apply it close as possible to the source. And of course, for that, since that one is more granular, you can ask questions such as where the packet is coming from, where the packet is going to. In fact, what is the service that you want to access on the server? So, since you can always ask all those questions ahead of time, then you apply extended access control list as close as possible to the source node. For instance, if I want to configure the extended access control list, it's going to be applied on this router 2, and on this interface attached to network 10.10.10.0. So that is how to get that done. So after this video, the next video, we are going to be taking a look at how to use the wildcard mask, because when configuring, you notice that I've been using the wildcard mask. Okay, so in the next video, we take a look at how to use the wildcard mask with your access control list. I hope the video is informative, and I want to thank you for viewing. So see you in part 3.